Nottingham Forest 1, Manchester United nil. And what can I say? I think we were a little bit unlucky not to be coming away from this game with at least a point. I felt like as if we played really well for the majority of the game, and the expected goals and also the shots that we had do kind of back that up. And I think we're unlucky not to be coming away with anything. But in terms of the lineup, let's speak about that briefly. It was basically the same lineup that I had gone for, except that Casemiro started ahead of Højlund. I had Højlund up front and Bruno and Ugarte in the double pivot, but Ruben Amorim decided to field Ugarte and Casemiro in the double pivot with Bruno, Garnacho and Højlund up front. And apart from that, it was basically the same lineup that I went for: Yoro, Dalit Mazraoui, Dalot, Ugarte, Casemiro, Dogu, Bruno, Garnacho and Højlund up front. So in terms of United though, we did start a little bit poorly. We did have the first chance of the game. We turned over possession quickly, and the ball came to Fernandes 20 yards from goal. He let fly with a dipping effort, but Sells got down to palm it wide, and that was the first chance that Manchester United actually had. This was in the 4th minute, but so Sells palmed it wide and it went out for a corner, but unfortunately from the resulting corner, Man United couldn't capitalise from this corner, and United's corner is headed clear, and it's a former Red Devil who comes away with the ball, and it was actually Elanga who actually came away with the ball at breakneck speed. He shrugs off a challenge off Garnacho and goes it alone with Gibbs White to his left, slotting a low strike beneath Onana just inside the box to put the hosts 1-0 up. So unfortunately, we had the first chance of the game when Bruno Fernandes had a dipping, he had a shot from 20 yards out, went out for a corner, and from the resulting corner, Forest gained possession. Anthony Elanga comes away from the ball and they break really fast. Anthony Elanga, he ran 85 metres in 9 seconds, and he slots away the opener to make it 1-0 Forest. And in terms of United defensively, it was a really poor goal to be given away from that corner, and we had like a couple of opportunities which we could have brought down Elanga and maybe taken a yellow card or something. I think he runs away from Mazraoui for, I think he runs away from Bruno or Garnacho at first. I can't remember who, but then I think it's Garnacho who has the opportunity to actually bring him down and to get a yellow card, and then Mazraoui as well is also backtracking, and he doesn't make a good enough challenge. He's backtracking, he's trying to jockey him, but at that point, he's so close to the goal, you need to put in a block, and he lets fly with his left foot, and then he scores, and that's 1-0 Forest. And really poor goal to be given away so early on in the game, but it's not like as if we didn't have chances of our own to actually score. 8 minutes into the game, shortly after the goal that Nottingham Forest scored, Man United do get a chance. Dalot gets wide and swings a good cross into the box, which is met by Fernandes with a low header, but it's straight into the hands of Sells. Man United do get another chance in the 13th minute. Casemiro meets Fernandes' delivery from the United corner, but can only head his near post effort wide of the mark and into the side netting. And that was another chance which we could have scored from. However, Nottingham Forest do get a chance of their own in the 24th minute. Forest break from the halfway again as Gibbs White turns to release Elanga down the right. Elanga looking very dangerous, but the goal scorer takes too long to pick out a shot or a pass, and Casemiro and Dalit get across to dispossess him. And then Manchester United do get a really good chance from a corner. This is the 28th minute. The corner is met. I think it's I forgot who takes it. I think it might be Eric. I think it might be Bruno who takes the corner, and the corner is met by a glancing header from Dalot at the near post, and his looping effort bounces back off the crossbar. Dalit meets the follow up with a weak shot that is palmed clear by Sells, and a free kick is blown after the Forest keeper is caught late by Yoro with a high boot. And then in the 30th minute, Casemiro again plays down Garnacho down the right side, but the Argentinian cuts it inside to feed Fernandes. He shoots from the edge of the box, but that shot is blocked by Morello for Forest. And then Nuno Espirito Santo, he does make 2 changes actually, which I was kind of a little bit surprised by. He makes a double change in order to switch to a back 5 from his initial 4-2-3-1 formations and setup, with Danilo and Ola Aina withdrawn, and then on come Alex Moreno and Morato. And then Onana has to make a save at the end of injury time at the end of the first half. Gibbs White swings in a Forest free kick. into the area, which is headed across by Milinkovic. His partner Murillo meets it with a looping header, but Onana sees it all the way and makes it comfortable save. So in terms of the first half summary, I felt like as if Forest were giving Man United a lot of space to break, but I felt at times it was slow in the final third. The final pass was lacking for United. I think Casemiro and Ugarte looked poor in possession, in my opinion. I want my central midfielders to find line breaking passes, but they don't look like as if they have the capability to do so. And I felt like as if we were a little bit unlucky going into half time, 1-0 down. But we lacked that end product though, and Garnacho, in my opinion, was off. He was in a couple of promising positions, but his quality was poor and his first touch was off as well. So Man United had a total of 15 touches in the opposition box. Xerxes had 0, and he lost all of his duels as well. And Xerxes was poor in my opinion at the end of the first half. I would have taken him off personally and bought on Mount or Højlund. But if you have a look at the stats at halftime, have a look at the stats here, quick time. Let me pull them up for you. You can see there, Man United this is at the end of the first half. We've got more shots on target, more possession, obviously more passes as well. Pass accuracy was 87%, which was decent as well. And you can see with Forest there, only 3 shots, 2 on target, and one of them was the goal. And I don't really remember Onana being too troubling at the end of the first half. And then you have a look at the duels. Forest did win more duels at the end of the first half, but if you have a look at the expected goals, Man United do top the expected goals at the end of the first half with 0.65. So I do feel like as if we were a little bit unlucky to be going into halftime 1-0 down, but it is what it is. And then the second half kicks off, and Ugarte does go off for Højlund, and then Bruno does go into the double pivot. After he started up front, you can see there alongside Garnacho in the inside 10 positions. And then in the 48th minute, another Fernandes corner is met by Casemiro at the near post, but this one Tess sells and the Forest keeper is forced into make a scrambling save. That could have gone in as well. Casemiro does go off for Eriksen in the 59th minute. Casemiro picking up a yellow card, and I think that's just precautionary, and Eriksen does come off and does come on, and this is the first time we're seeing Eriksen and Bruno in a double pivot, and still we weren't able to break Forest down, unfortunately. We do get a chance in the 69th minute. United counter at speed after a Forest attack breaks down. Fernandes picks out Garnacho with a peach off a crossfield pass. The 20-year-old cuts inside into his left foot, cuts inside to off the left onto his right foot, but Yates is back to cover for Forest and makes a vital block to skew the ball wide and behind for a corner. The resulting corner makes it all the way through to Garnacho at the far post on the left, but his first time strike flashes just wide off the far post. Garnacho again in the 73rd minute is picked out once again by Dalot's crossfield pass, but elects to shoot on the edge of the box, and it fires high and wide despite better options around him. And Garnacho, in my opinion, was frustrating this game. He needs to be doing a little bit better. Personally, I would cash in on him in the summer. I shouldn't really be saying this, about an ex-United player, but I do feel like as if Anthony Elanga is better than him, to be honest. That's just my opinion. You're entitled to have your own, of course. Finally, Xerxes does go off for Mount. Mount has a shot in the 80th minute. A poor Milinkovic clearance is hit straight to Mount on the edge of the box, and the substitute almost finds the net with his second touch, setting himself before a curling right-footed strike inches wide off the far post. Finally, the final substitution that Ruben Amorim makes, Lenny Yoro goes off for Maguire, and I couldn't believe it when I saw it. He actually went up front, and he actually does get a chance at the end of the game. He gets a chance, but before that, Garnacho plays this is in the second minute of injury time at the end of the second half. Garnacho plays Dogo in behind, and the Dane stands up across from the byline, but Maguire, brought on to play as a makeshift striker rather than defence, heads well beyond the near post, and despite the chance looking easier to put on target than to miss, I think that ball was placed slightly behind Maguire. This is in the 92nd minute, and that could have actually gone in had Maguire timed his run a little bit better. But Maguire does probably get the best chance of the game, and it's Murillo rescues a point for Forest. This is in the 7th minute of injury time at the end of the second half, of course. United sees another United attack sees Mazraoui sweep a last chance cross into the box. It's a scramble as the ball comes to Maguire, but his close range effort is cleared off the line by the Brazilian Murillo, in desperate fashion just moments before the full-time whistle. So the full-time whistle goes, and Forest win 1-0. And, you know, I can't help but think that we are a little bit unlucky not to be coming away from this game with basically nothing. I felt like as if we had the better of the chances. We had higher XG. Bruno in the double pivot alongside Eriksen. We did go all out for it, you know, taking off two defensive central midfielders. You know, Ruben Amorim, he did go for it this game. He bought off Casemiro and Ugarte and put Bruno and Eriksen into that double pivot. He also put Maguire up front, and then you had Dogu playing as a left centre back, and then you had Garnacho playing wing back on the left as well. So you can't say that Ruben Amorim didn't go for it. He did actually go for it, and it's just unfortunate that we aren't able to get anything from the game. So finally, let's get into some player ratings. We'll have a look at Onana's got a 6.1 here. I thought he was okay. You know, he couldn't really do anything about the goal that he conceded. It was a well taken strike by Anthony Elanga. Accurate passes, you can see there, 16 out of 17. Accurate long balls, 1 out of 2. And how many saves did he make? He made 1 save. He wasn't really kind of called into action too much. I don't remember him making too many saves. You know, we had the majority of the chances, but we just weren't able to put them away. Lenny Yoro, a 7.3 here. He's got a 91% pass accuracy, which is decent. And then you look at his duels, he's won 4 out of 7. I thought he was okay. You know, maybe he needs to be winning a little bit more of his aerial duels, but you know, he wasn't really at fault for the goal, and it was a tidy performance. Defensively, we weren't really troubled too much. Mateus Stillett, he's got a 6.9 in foot mob, 92% pass accuracy, duels won 7 out of 10, which is decent as well. You know, I want my players to be winning the majority of the duels. Mazraoui, again, I thought, you know, he was okay. He's got 8.2 rating here. You know, he's got 89% pass accuracy, but you look at his duels, he's lost the most duels of the match. This is kind of surprising for me. I thought he was okay. I want, you know, like I said, I want United to be winning most of their duels. He's won 8 out of 20 duels here, which isn't too good enough in my opinion. He was involved in the most duels of the match as well. I think he had the most tackles of the match with 5 as well. So he's been involved in a lot of duels. I think he needs to be winning, you know, the majority of his duels here. Diego Dallo, pass accuracy 88%. I think he needs to be doing a little bit better going forward. He's got a 7.8 here rating on FootMob, which isn't too bad. 3 chances created, which is decent. And then in terms of the duels, 6 out of 11 duels won, which is alright. Manuel Ugarte, I thought he was a little bit poor in the first half. He only lasted 45 minutes. His pass accuracy is okay, but there are times where he needs to be playing a line-breaking pass to kind of split the Nottingham Forest defence. And I just don't feel like as if he was doing so in the first half. And that's maybe why he was bought off. 4 out of 6 duels won as well, which isn't too good. Casemiro as well. Same can be said about Casemiro. I don't think Casemiro and Ugarte had particularly good games. He did win 5 out of 9 of his duels, so he did win the majority of his duels, but I think he needs to be doing a little bit better with his passing, more line breaking through balls. Chances created 1 for Casemiro, and then chances created for Ugarte probably 0. I don't think he created anything. Chances created 0. Yeah. Like I said, personally, I would be playing, because we're playing 3 at the back system, we're playing with 5 at the back when we don't have the ball. I would be playing Bruno Fernandes in the double pivot personally, but that's just me. You know, Dogu 87%. I thought he was okay. He's got 1 chance created. Duels, he's won 6 out of 8, which is decent as well. Want to see the majority of his duels won. Garnacho, I thought he was poor. He did create 4 chances, had a total of 6 shots, but you can see here where they're ranging from. I don't think many of them were on target, or maybe a couple of them were on target. Let's see how many were on target. So basically, none of them were on target, unfortunately. Just gone through all his shots here in the second half. None of them were on target, unfortunately. Duels won, he's won 4 out of 13 as well. He needs to be doing better on his duels won. Bruno Fernandes, he was okay. He created the most chances of the match, as expected. You know, that's what Bruno Fernandes is going to do. He's going to create the most chances. 6 chances created. Obviously, he played in the number 10 position in the first half, and then in the second half, he switched into the double pivot. And yeah, 6 chances created. It's not his fault that they not getting dispatched or finished. We need to be scoring these chances that Bruno Fernandes is creating. And Jules won 7 out of 17, which obviously is not too good. You know, you need to be winning the majority of your duels. And finally, Xerxes, I thought he was poor. He lasted 78 minutes. Personally, I would have bought him off at half time because, you know, 8 out of 25 accurate passes. He wasn't really involved in the game. I can't believe he lasted 78 minutes. And then touches in the opposition box during that time, 0, which isn't too good. And then I think Maguire was on for like 5 minutes. And we'll see how many touches he has. But Jules, he's lost 4 duels. He wasn't involved in any duels in the second half because I do remember checking the stats at half time. And Xerxes, he had 4 duels lost at the end of the first half. So yeah, in terms of the substitutes, Højlund 6.3. Again, he touches in the opposition box 5, which is decent, better than Xerxes. I think he did slightly better than Xerxes. Xerxes got a 5.8, and Højlund's got a 6.3. Again, like, you know, I'm expecting more of my strikers. You know, Man United strikers of the past, we're scoring goals. You know, we're creating chances. We're creating space for others. I don't think Højlund played particularly well. He did better than Xerxes, I'm not going to lie. He did have more touches in the opposition box. But I'm expecting a little bit more from him. And then Eriksen, 31 minutes, 96% pass accuracy, 2 chances created as well, which is more than Ugarte and Casemiro. And then Jules won. He didn't win any of his duels, unfortunately. Mount, he had 1 duel won, and then he did have that 1 shot which went just wide. He could have scored with a second shot, with a second touch on the pitch. It unfortunately wasn't to be. Hopefully he does come good, you know, because he's been ravaged with injuries. Harry Maguire, let's see how many touches he had in the opposition box. Touches in the opposition box 6. You can see how much of an impact Harry Maguire as centre-back has made compared to Xerxes, who started up front, and he's had no touches in the opposition box, and Maguire's come away with 6 touches. And he won all of his aerial duels as well. Maybe we need to play Maguire up front, who knows? I don't know. And then, yeah, that was it really. And, you know, let's have a look at the league table. We are still in 13th. We're not moved. We're not going to get relegated. And we're just like petering out into the end of the season, into nothingness, basically. And Forest, though, are looking good for a Champions League finish. I'm not going to lie. They are pulling away from Chelsea and Manchester City here. And, you know, they could be finishing in the Champions League spots. And, you know, I have to say kudos to Nottingham Forest. They've been playing really well this season, and they probably do deserve a Champions League finish. But yeah, as for United though, we do have Manchester City up next on the weekend on Sunday. But yeah, that's it from me. Disappointed with the loss, of course, but I did predict a loss in my preview, and yeah, I didn't really expect anything to be getting from the game. But as the game went on, I do feel a little bit disappointing that we are coming away with nothing, especially because I do feel like as if we deserved at least a draw. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.